Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks here for your weekly market update. This one is on time for once because I woke up early to do it because I did not have time yesterday. All right. So if you like the content, hit the subscribe, like, leave the comment, ring the bell, all those things. Let's get into it. All right. So pretty quiet week actually. Not a whole lot going on. The biggest things were some funkiness around WTR, which we'll talk about when we get there. But let's start at the top. Arcane Rising down 15%, $14 to 90 a box. We've seen it float in this range for a while, but this is lower than it has been in the past month. So maybe it's a deal if you've been looking for Arcane Rising Unlimited boxes. It does seem that there's an upward pressure to get it to about $100 a box. We've seen this going back a couple months. So it's bouncing in range. Nothing too crazy here. A little bit low on the range that it bounces in. Honorable mention to Crew and Tales of Aria Unlimited boxes, which are up 4.4 and 4.9 relatively. Yeah, nothing special here. They're just, a little bit up from where they were before. Little spark of joy there in the market. Nothing crazy. Unlimited cases, Crew is up 11.9% to 284 for Crew Unlimited case, so that's pretty good. Back to where it was, reversion to the mean sort of situation, because we were up in this 290 range and then dropped down to 80, then 50 was a spike down back where it was before, so this was just an unusually low week last week when everything was dumping. Let's keep moving on. WTR boxes down 21% to 2,900. This feels a bit like a steal. I know we've had it a few times, but I'll explain why in a second. But basically this spike up is upward pressure due to supply, it seems. Could be wrong on that. Worth checking out. You can actually see these. You can buy this from TCG Player at 2,900. This is the lowest on the market that I could find. I even went to eBay to check that out. Obviously, there's secondary market, sales through Facebook and Discord and stuff, so they may be lower than this. I don't know. I haven't seen any go, but I suspect they are moving based on our next item. WTR case sold at 1,400. This is kind of crazy, or 14,000. I'm sorry. This is kind of crazy. One, because it's the lowest price, but two, because it actually sold. It wasn't just a market listing, and there are no more listings. So this actually sold on TCG Player 11/2 yesterday, $14,000. There's no more listed on TCG Player. I can't find any listed on eBay. There may be some out in that secondary market, but this seems to be kind of the last case that's being listed. And I suspect from here we will not see any for a while. And then the next time a sale happens, so expect this number to sit, but I'm not sure that we're going to have data to increase it or update it. And I think the next time a sale happens, it'll probably be, when things get hot, and it'll be back in this range. Unless someone's sitting on some that they bought, for a couple $100 and they want to actually move it. My understanding is that they're being gobbled up by the collectors, and that makes sense to me. Also has some interesting implications for this box price when that goes to happen. I actually want to show you this. Hold on. So this is what it's listed for, $20,000. It is not $20,000 though. If you click in, there's one for 2,900. I don't know why this is what's up here versus this. I'm not sure, because they're both maybe because the pictures. I'm not sure, because this is this isn't like a known seller either or anything, so I'm not sure why that does that, but I did check in. It's 29. As you can see, the next ones are crazy price, so this may be the last one of these to go. This, unlike the case, there are other options on eBay. So eBay has them for as low as like 3,100, I think, which is kind of what we've seen as our standard kind of go-to price around that. Where is it? Right here. Yeah, 35. Like, we've seen them in that range for a while on TCG Player. So this being the last one, I'm thinking these are getting sold up or gobbled up by collectors, and they will just disappear, right? And that's what you expect, right? WTR, was it 3-4 years old now? It's been around, it's time for it to disappear in first edition boxes. And if you have your collector or collection, hold on to it. That's what I'm doing with mine. If you don't, this is probably last call. Check eBay, check all the rest. But cases were always very hard to find. Even when I was looking for a case, I couldn't find one, and I wasn't going to do it through TCG Player. So, anyways, that does make this a very tempting bid or price, just because last call. Anyways, so that's that. I did want to point out that Channel Fireball had a sale. First edition Monarch was like $74, which is crazy low. By comparison, we're at 90 here. I guess we did get kind of that low about a month ago, so it's not insane. And Channel Fireball, there was probably shipping and fees, and probably was actually more like this price when it was all said and done. But the list price was low, so you know how that goes. Let's just take a look at what's happening in the card space. So, best selling. Yeah, that's crazy. It shows up here because it actually sold. That's just crazy. End of an era, guys. End of an era. First edition, WTR, cases gone. Kaput, poof. And I imagine this kind of ties to that crazy sale from Channel Fireball where they're selling some of the old stuff. It might be kind of the last hurrah of that era. Expect the same of ARC shortly. Not sure when. Obviously, down market, downward pressures are a thing, so don't go bet the family farm on it. Not financial advice, but that's not what I'm doing because that would be silly. But do realize that we're at the end of an era, and these first sets are going to vanish. That's just how it is. It's time. All right, so normal stuff here. Interesting Storm Strider's down another $10. It looks like it was 120, I think, even yesterday. E-Strike. Now that we have some of the Dynasty stuff, I'm not seeing any changes here. I'm a little bit concerned that the the best-selling algorithm is busted again, because it doesn't look like anything's changed. Great. Oh man, TCG Player, you're the worst. Let's see, 269. So this is still on a decline, but only barely. It's starting to bottom out for the Blood of Drakai. It's almost time to do this. We've talked about it for a while now. The new set's coming out. It'll be out in a week or so. And then that will probably be the ideal time to buy the older cold foils, or that's the time I'm going to use to do so. Interesting. Arcane. I wonder, did they actually sell? 1020. Yeah, oh, it's the same ones from last week. Okay. I wonder how long that counts as best selling, right? That's weird. Great library, super cheap for the rainbow foil. Rudy even highlighted that. See if the armor's done anything interesting. It's cold foils, what I'm interested in. 130. Yeah, it's still dropping. So, we're just on this kind of slow decline. The chart's pretty much right. It's wrong in numbers. It says 157, but it's right in general pattern. So, with that in mind, I might wait a few weeks in then for Dynasty. It's interesting that we haven't seen anything spike up in... well, I haven't noticed. If you have, leave a comment, because I'm not watching every card. I just check these. I don't really dive deep on the individual cards. But if you're seeing anything spike up around Dynasty, leave a comment. Let me know, because I'm curious if you've seen it. It's, wow, so many boxes here. This is crazy. Okay, Tommy and I did this. New players are flooding in podcast. I think it was last week before. Yeah, it was the week before because we did Dynasty last week. 2 weeks ago, and now look at all these different boxes that are on the best-selling list. There really are a flood of new players, and I see it all over social media. People are like, how do you do this? How do you play that? What's this? Is this good? If I buy this and upgrade it, is that better? Magic really scared a lot of players away, and they're all jumping into Fab and buying boxes. It's really cool. It's really cool. So I suspect the things that are low in print quantity will get eaten up. So let's just go back to our chart real quick. These ARC first edition will probably be one of the first things after any of the collectible stuff. These old school ones, obviously, ARC. I would even say crew. So, this is a very good price for a crew box. I expect these to disappear before too long because they have every class, right? And I think they have pretty good cards, maybe not perfect cards, but as a new player, you get excited, you go back, you're not sure if you want to spend $400 on a box, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But then eventually you do, and they disappear, right? So 1% of these new players will eventually get to the point where they're like, I want those crew boxes. Like, I want a few of them. I'm going to crack some, blah, blah, blah. Knowing that they don't have the financial value, but wanting the first edition cards, wanting the chance of the cold foils, etc. So something to keep in mind. Let's jump into the charts. There's some interesting stuff here. All right. I think Unlimited was pretty boring, so we're just going to skim through these pretty quick. There's nothing much here. We do have the ARB opportunity here, but it's only a couple bucks as it has been. Nothing interesting. This is a huge ARB. Oh no, that's a premium. ARB is gone. Yep. 68. Yeah, $3 on crew. Let's see. $6 on Mon. And this is all unlimited. Unlimited is boring right now. Sorry guys. 51 to, was that 60? 61? $10. Okay, that's actually a pretty good ARB opportunity. Buy a case of tails, sell the boxes, $10 per box. Doesn't make up shipping, but if you charge shipping as well, oh yeah, there's no Everfest. Maybe it makes some money. Not financial advice as always, but certainly not something I'm doing right now. Now this is where things get a little wonky and fun. So this is WTR first edition. Look at our ARB. It came so close to an ARB opportunity. This is where we're starting to get things interesting because we get one weird week and you can spend 10 grand and make a couple $100 a box sort of thing. We're not there on WTR yet, but ARC is $50 a box. We're actually there. So if you bought one of those $5,000 cases, you crack it open, which is like, I'm not sure you want to do that, but hey, maybe you do. Or if you buy a leftover case secondary market from wherever for 5,000 or less, and then you sell them to TCG player for 1,300, or you hold them for a little bit until it goes back up to 15, which it probably will before too long. You're talking significant arbitrage opportunity there to actually take advantage of some crazy prices. Same with crew. So you buy the case, it's $3.90. It's only $5 a box, but again, price changes are a factor. Now, all this said, prices can keep going down, right? We are in a down market. It's a tough time for collectibles in general. People are going back out. I saw a report economically that services are picking up massively, so they expect continued upward pressure and inflation. Whereas goods such as cards and the things that people were buying while they were in like your Amazon deliveries and stuff like that, all that stuff is getting hammered because people are no longer locking down. Everyone's going back to what the economy looked like. And if you remember, we talked about this way back. What happened, one of the biggest shifts was the money that was being used for services industry all moved into commodities, or not commodities, retail sort of purchases. And now we're seeing an inversion of that as COVID kind of disappears or becomes less of a concern for a lot of people. And so that ends up leaving us in this situation where there's a downward pressure. This is what Rudy has talked about in his videos about there's too much print run. They did print runs based on that inverted economy, which made sense at the time, but now it's got to reverse. Magic is slow. They're getting hammered on this, and I think they will continue to for a while. I don't know. They just are big, so they will take a while. And based on their economic report, it sounded like they're going to try to do it again. And it's like, no, that's you guys, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So you're going to see, I expect more Amazon dumps, put it that way, in the Magic world, and I will take advantage of those. So anyways, ARB opportunity was this Tales of Aria. It is what? 350. All right, so not much there. Everfest, it's actually tightened up. Interesting. So finally getting to a point where that's going to make sense. And Uprising, let's see here. Uprising is $6, so that's pretty good. So our opportunities are opening up across the board. I think this is something we can expect in downtrends, just because, again, like we talked about before, distributors and people holding cases are trying to get rid of them. They are not cracking them. This is a situation where maybe you can take advantage as an individual, but not financial advice. I am not doing this. So I do tell you what I do, and just as an update on that, I am continuing on my 10-month plan that we started about was it 6 months ago? Not quite. Next month it will be 6 months. So 5 months ago. So another 5 months of continual purchasing of items across all economic silos. So crypto, equities, collectibles, etc. I am buying that at the regular pace of once a week. I will buy something. It will either be old school seal boxes I like. Some stuff I was doing magic, alpha beta stuff that I like from my childhood. For the collectible side of things, I also do crypto and equities, but that's not what this channel's about. And let's see, what else was I buying? Oh, I've started getting into Pokemon, as you've seen, so I started buying those. So I'm just slowly accumulating a collection that is pretty good right now. Actually, this is kind of the best time, and we've talked about this in the past. I'm pretty excited. I started the accumulation maybe a little early, and that's okay because I'm used to buying into a declining market. It doesn't hurt when I buy something and it's worth half later. I don't care because I'm patient. So what I do is I just buy a little bit at a time, and what that is dollar cost averaging down, which I think I've mentioned here before, but definitely is something that people should think about because basically it means you end up with an average value lower than market as things turn around, and they will turn around eventually. It's just probably not for a while, right? It could be all the way through next year, that's where I'm not sure what my plan will be when I get to the end of the 10-month plan. 10-month plan was based on the recessionary data that we got early on that was just barely recession or not a recession depending on how you want to measure it. Doesn't matter. Point was, it was clear there was shaky economics and there was downward pressure on a lot of different markets, so I started taking advantage of that. Now we're in the blood in the streets sort of mode where things are dumping. We're seeing these massive spikes down. So I am continuing to purchase more aggressively during those downward spikes. Anything that we see these upward pressures, like yesterday we got a big market spike because of the Fed announcement that they're going to do 75 basis points, but it sounded a little bit soft, like they might change their mind in the next time frame. So next month, I think they have a chance to do another rate hike. So I think it sounds like they're hesitant on that being as big. So maybe it's 50 basis points instead of 75, which is fine and probably reasonable, I guess. I don't know. I'm not the Fed. I don't have the data they have. I know inflation is still on the way up and still big, and if that's what they're trying to kill, that's going to be a problem. But at the same time, they don't want to completely crash the economy. So they want things to cool off. So they got to look at a lot of different data. And things have cooled off from what I understand. Job openings are disappearing. A lot of people are firing in the tech area. I think Twitter said they're going to lay off half the people. I know Facebook has gotten slammed, and their valuation just plummeted. I forget what it is. It's a lot though. It's like 70% or something. Same with Amazon. Again, transformation between the online at-home economy into a services economy. I know things like hotels, travel, airplanes. They all have seen continued high demand. So they are seeing a ramp up. So this is a very odd part of the economy where we're seeing this transformation. And in these kinds of moments of chaos, there's opportunity because people overreact. Markets are emotional. Wall Street's really emotional, I'll be honest. If you know any of those financial traders, they freak out and get excited a little too easily, and it's reflected in massive moves of capital. It's not true of all of them, obviously, but there's definitely quants and such that are doing it mathematically. But at the same time, the big market movers tend to be clients of various traders that they feel concerned, right? Because of economic troubles or headwinds or whatever, and they want to get defensive, so they move stuff out, right? It makes sense. It's all human nature. But at the end of the day, it makes markets move pretty quickly and aggressively and usually over move. So if it's going up, it goes higher than it should. If it's going down, it goes lower than it should. Those are your opportunities to take advantage in these kind of chaotic markets, and that is what I'm doing. So I knew this would happen. I just wasn't sure when. I'm not sure if it's over. I will not know when it's over because it's just how it is. I'll know when it's over well after it's over. We'll look back and say, oh, I guess that was the bottom in 3 months ago, whatever it was, right? So because you don't know when it's over, you just kind of buy in. That's what I do. I just buy in all the way down. I don't care. And then I wait for it to go up, and it tends to be during that long down period, you get enough that's below kind of your average or market value of the things, that when things go back up, you're in a very, very good position. I've done this year over year for crypto for a decade, so pretty familiar with volatile markets. Anyways, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, hit that like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think. What's your plan? What are you doing out there? Are you happy with this? Are you excited for this influx of new players? Because that's definitely a piece of great news in a market that's otherwise downward pressure just because of macro. I'm super excited about it. I am thrilled for Dynasty. Oh my god, I can't tell you how excited I am. We're in our Discord constantly talking about all the spoilers and stuff. I know some people aren't happy, but man, I like the shift in meta. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. So anyways, hope you're out there cracking packs, playing games, enjoying this hobby that you love, and not worrying so much about money. And until next time, have a good one.